All right, I just had to stop, make a few adjustments. My helmet didn't have an SD card, and the GoPro up front wasn't working. For some reason, the batteries are dying real quick, so I take the SD card out of that and put it in my helmet, and then it wouldn't work. So I had to format it. And if you don't use this stuff much, you tend to forget a little bit. I'm down here. This is Kaiser Meadow, our landfill back there. Sustainable Chester, Sustenance Chester, Sustain Chester, Advanced Recycling Facility. All right, let's set up the back. Do a little video. This is the road that I like to come out when I kind of got something I want to clear on my mind. Clear out of my mind, I guess. A couple of weeks ago I had this dream, and it was kind of a real strange dream. What I do remember the most about it was that I was under parachute, but it was a parachute that was way up in the sky. And it was taking me up, not down. So it was more like, kind of like a gliding. And the parachute had to be 150 feet over my head. And it was billowing like it was trying to collapse. And I was pulling on the strings, but what it was doing was taking me up through the trees. So I took quite a nasty fall out of the trees the other day. So maybe it had something to do with that. But I think there was a deeper meaning in there my subconscious was working at. But anyway, partway through that dream, and I'm fighting the lines, fighting them, trying to get elevation to get up through the trees. And, I guess somewhere through there we run into, and there was another person, we run into a lot of power lines. But I don't know that there was actually another person or if it was a version of me. And this person got fried pretty good in the electrical lines and come down, and I came down just behind them, but I knew in my dream that if I touched the ground connected to these wires, I was going to ground and I was going to get fried. So I had pulled some cord or something, and there was a little snap of electricity, and then I was free. But this other person was laying on the ground, and they had no legs. They were burned off completely, and they had a helmet on, and it was sort of like a motorcycle helmet more than a parachute helmet. And the face was completely burned to a skeleton, but the guy was still alive, and there were people around him. And there was a young girl there, and in the dream she said, "Don't die, Dad, don't die." And I'm looking at it, and then I can see the complete hollow eyes of the skeleton that are just black and burned right through, and there's flame kind of coming out a little bit. And the person is obviously in the last seconds of life, and they're completely burned. But what I remember most is that They're cut off at the legs, the helmet, the complete burned body, but the eyes, the two whole eyes with the flames coming out. And when I got up from that, I'm gonna tell you that I was a little twisted. Took me a little bit to come out of that. But as I've learned in analyzing dreams, certain things that are significant to you are metaphors, and you have to try to find out what the metaphors mean. And when you can put them together, then it will form a sentence that means something to you, your subconscious speaking to you. So it was significant about this parachute. It was significant about trying to gain elevation. The trees were very significant. And not so much the task of me trying to fight my way up through it to save myself, but then it was the person that's on the ground. And if that was a version of me, is it something that I was trying, that I'm giving up on, that I'm letting die? And that's how I see it. So I have to sort my way through thoughts like that. I guess you'd call it unrattle yourself, and not let that, in its exact context, destroy your day, destroy your life. You have to understand that it's something. I had a person tell me one time that when you're dreaming, it's like a computer and you're trying to delete, and your subconscious is trying to delete. And I don't know that that's true or not true, but that's what it meant to him. So I can take something from that. But in all reality, I think what I took from it mostly was that a phase of my life, and it could have to do with motorcycling, and it could have to do with thoughts of the Army and the veteran stuff, that is just, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out from it. Think about that. I am burnt out from the fucking garbage from it. Just the fucking garbage from it. Not the service and not the honor, but just the bullshit that's gone on in the last number of years. And when I get on my motorcycle, it seems like I get a little aggressive sometime, and I've been watching that, trying to clear that. And so I'm staying away from almost everybody and sorting through that. And maybe that's just what that dream is telling me. That I fought my way up through where I want to be, up in the trees. That's where my life is now. And this other nonsense, I'm burned out from it. Just get on the road and enjoy your journey. And the rest of it is dead. And you see it with your own eyes. The burned clarity of your own eyes, you see it with that. Now I want to tell you something. None of this that I'm speaking of, none of it came clear to me until I got right here, right now, as I'm talking my way through it. Motorcycling is about enjoying this tranquility, staying away from the parking lots, going where you can have a quiet coffee by yourself and relax, coming home and feeling great, not feeling pent up from aggression, but feeling great. One chance at this life, and the days are winding down.